welcome to the Millennial Mum Show, and it's me, your host, Tolu, the Millennial Mom. On this episode, we're going to be talking to a mom who's going to shed more light on her motherhood journey with us. We're going to engage her, we're going to learn from her, and we're just going to touch on all the nitty bits that women never like to talk about. But today, she's going to bring it all to the show, and we're going to talk about it from health, entrepreneurship, being a mom, everything, you name it. I'm going to be taking the back seat today. I'm going to leave my host seat and I'm going to leave it all to her to share her journey with us. And I have this amazing mom. I know that is my tagline. All moms are amazing. I always tell you that I have an amazing mom or an amazing woman in my studio. But today, yes, I have an amazing mom, and she's one of my mom friends. And when I mean mom friends, I mean moms that I met along the way because of my children. I say all the time, my children give me amazing mom friends. She's one of them. And we've developed and, just grown our relationship from talking, doing businesses with each other, and just having, that motherhood friendship and bond. And she's here today and she's going to just tell it all. Hello, Mama. How are you? Can you just please introduce yourself to us?
My name is Yinka Ogundinmu.
Okay.
I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay. I told you we're going to. She's an entrepreneur. So, what else do you do? You're an entrepreneur. You tell us what you do so that you know. Hey.
But for now, I'm into ashoke, designing and color mixing, basically.
Okay.
And a little bit of event planning.
Okay, that's great. So if you have an event, especially if you want to, I think people like Lagos people, we love parties. If you want to do that, she's here for you. That's what she does. So let's dive in quickly into, your motherhood journey. How many kids do you have?
I have two amazing boys.
Two amazing boys. I love them. One of them is my son's friend. Yes, I know she has two amazing boys. And what is motherhood for you at the moment? How does it shape you? How do you manage it?
Motherhood for me is joy, because I went through a lot before I had my kids. It's all encompassing. It's satisfaction. It's fulfillment for me, because it's something I never thought would ever happen.
To you?
Yes. Something like, because there was too much pain along the way, too much frustration, a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. So it's fulfillment to me. That's all I'll say.
Now that you said that, I don't know where I'm going to pick it up from. Am I going to pick it up from the anxiety? Am I going to pick it up from depression? So did you have like a TTC phase where you were trying to conceive?
Yes, I did.
How long was that for?
5 years.
Wow. Okay. So, because for some women, they have their first child and then they started TTC because they're trying to have more. Was that from the start for you, or you had your first child and then you were TTCing?
Mine was from the start.
From the start.
From the very
So
start.
what was that like?
Initially, I started off with missed periods. I actually thought for 3 months that I was pregnant.
Okay.
And then it was discovered that I had uterine fibroids. So I started treatment on that, going back and forth, trying to conceive naturally. Still nothing happened. So in the second year, I had to take it out. Took them out, the three types of fibroids, the submucosal, intramural, and the OSHA3.
Okay. I wanted to also ask you, because I don't know, like I said, we're going to learn today, and I don't really know much about this. When I hear fibroid, I used to think that it was synonymous with heavy periods.
Yes, it actually is, and also PCOS as well.
Okay.
So after taking those out, I still couldn't conceive.
Okay.
So we started treatment, the fertility treatment proper. I would go for my injections, my routine injections, maybe 3 days, 5 days, and then I'll follow up on scans. Then I did quite a number of other tests, very painful tests, extremely painful. Extremely painful.
Because that must have been, because there's the physical pain and then there's the emotional side of, I'm trying to conceive and I'm doing my best, and now they're now booking me. it's now paining me. How did you manage that?
It was horrible because I had to do that particular test like 4 or 5 times.
The painful one.
Extremely painful.
Is this a standard, or it can be done better?
It's a standard.
Even abroad?
It's a standard. It's a standard. They have to check if your tubes are actually free. So it's called the hysterosalpingogram.
Sorry, can you come again?
Hysterosalpingogram, HSG. Hysterosalpingogram. Yes, it's called HSG for short.
Okay,
so you have
I think
to.
I've heard of it.
Yes, you have to. It's a standard. It's a standard. You have to. They have to know the position of your tubes.
Okay.
To know maybe the sperm can flow through to the eggs.
Okay.
And if the eggs can come out to the womb. So it's a standard procedure. You have to go through it.
Okay. So how did you then discover that? How did you discover? Because I know when we did talk about PCOS. Because I think the conversation of PCOS brought us to this studio today.
Yes.
And I hear a lot about PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and then I know I have seen it come up in my research. I tend to hear a lot of women talk about having PCOS and managing PCOS. Also on social media, I have seen known people that are managing PCOS. And how did you discover that you had PCOS along your fertility journey?
Yes, along the line, it was now discovered that I had cysts on my ovaries.
Okay.
And then from there, the doctor told me that it's possible. They were treating me for either endometriosis or PCOS. They weren't sure. So, but with all what I was going through, my hair falling out, the hair on my head and the sides of my head, a lot of pain in my stomach, unresolvable pain, and mood swings, missed periods. I couldn't just explain it because I was on fertility treatment. And my periods just would not come. Except
how do you balance? Because when you're on fertility drugs, you need your period to monitor.
Yes, so it was a little bit difficult to monitor my ovulation and to be able to, because there was no period. It's either it's coming late or it's coming earlier than scheduled. So it was my system was totally scattered. Totally scattered, and there was a lot of pain.
Wow. So because initially you did talk about, you were trying to conceive, the fibroid, and then the PCOS and the possibility of endo. Were these like in tranches, like, oh, this was just for a year, and then, or was it something that was just continuously just back to back?
It was just
because after the fibroid,
because
you couldn't conceive, they now realized that, oh, this could be another possibility. Was it just like a year after, or how did that work?
I really can't remember what the process was, but I know the fibroids was first.
Okay.
And then the cyst, and then the PCOS thingy, and then at the point I had to just leave my body because I had taken too many drugs.
Mm-hmm.
I had taken metformin. I was on metformin for a very long time because they were trying to help me drop my weight. I started adding weight.
Okay.
And my weight needed to come down. My blood sugar needed to be controlled as well. I started developing high blood pressure as well. And then, we were just treating me for different things at the same time.
Okay. So, what was this is your motherhood journey. What was your relationship with your husband like at this very crucial time? Because it must have been really hard.
It was really hard for him. It was hard for him because he wasn't expecting that this person that, he wasn't expecting. He was in shock for over 2 years.
It's almost like everything just keeps.
Because he just couldn't believe it. And then he had to, I'll have to say this, he had to attend family meetings over this issue. And
to discuss
to discuss me matter in person. And the focus was take another wife, try somebody else. And he will come home and he will tell me, this is what they said, So I now had to intensify prayers because I didn't even know what to do again.
I can imagine. I can imagine that, because that's why I feel like maybe when next week, if I ever have another person want to talk about fertility, I'll bring their husband to the show, because there's always that side when a woman is trying to conceive and everyone feels like it's a woman's burden to carry, as opposed to both of them partnering together, because it's a case of we are both looking for the fruit of the womb. So the spirituality side of it, you can never take that out. You can't, because like you said, you wanted your body to rest. It's almost like, God, just take control. We're spiritual, we're Africans, we're Nigerians. You can't take that away from us. So I don't know. We're just going to talk about that side. So do you feel like your journey brought you closer to God initially, and when you were going through the thick of it and you just thought, hands off, I can't do it anymore?
It brought me closer to God, and it made me appreciate my mom more. Because I never saw prayer as something that I needed to really do, like in detail. Like, I was brought up in the Catholic Church.
Okay.
I went to a Catholic primary school. My dad, I was born an Anglican. So, you know, the doctrines are not too far apart. So it was just this book thing, hymns. So I'm okay with soft. The Lord's Prayer. You know, I don't see an essence to dissect my womb in the prayer and start to pray for the fallopian tube, start to pray for the womb, start to pray for the sperm. I didn't see any reason to do all of those. But when this issue started arising, I started detailing. And it did work.
It worked.
It worked.
We're here because it worked.
It worked.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful for your journey. I'm grateful for your life, because there is absolutely nothing as rewarding as going through a phase that you can look back and actually say, I did that. God did that with me. God did that for me. So I'm here because God did that. So that's a really good thing. I'm very spiritual as well. And no matter what you're going through, there's always that side of it. Okay, so in all of this, when was that moment when it happened? Then you thought, yes, this is it.
Okay, my mom is very prayerful, like I said. She likes going to the mountaintop. She's CNS background. So every now and then she's always traveling. And my dad had cancer. So she would leave it with the carer and then leave. So at some point, I just felt, I'm not the only child you have. If anything happens to you, you're the only one running all over. My younger sister just had a baby. She was pregnant at the time.
Okay.
So I said, you're not just going to keep traveling everywhere to go and pray. I said, this time around, just sit. So on my dad's birthday, they called me and I got to the house, my family house, and both of them were crying. And I said, I think it's enough. I think you shouldn't just travel. Don't go anywhere. And then she started saying, she was saying in Yoruba, God will give you a child. I just want God to give you a child. My dad was crying, you know, so I just looked at my dad as someone down with, you know, the last stage 4 cancer, and crying, and that was just it for me. I was like, no more. I'm just going to leave my body. I'm not taking anything, because I took a bit of concussions as well. I'm not taking anything again. I'm not going to any church. I'm not praying again. That if I'm not going to have a child, I'll adopt. And that was the year I conceived.
Are you serious?
That was the year I conceived, the December of that year. And I didn't know I was pregnant till February.
From December to February? Did you just feel like, oh, these missed periods have started?
I didn't even notice.
Were you having your period, or was it normal, or you were just...
I was at work. I had been, to tell you how much I wanted to just get my mind off it. I don't take my leave days.
Just work.
I just want to work. I just want to be away from, especially my in-laws. I just want to be away. I just want to be occupied, be busy. And I was running my business. You know, to just keep my mind off, because it's very difficult to keep your mind off it.
Yes, it is.
It's extremely difficult. So that year, my bosses called and they were like, they're not going to monetize my leave days. That I had to go on leave by force. So they divided it.
Because I'm sure you'll be thinking, this can't be normal. So why would we work this woman out like this?
So when they calculated my leave days, the total was going to like almost 3 months. And they said, I can't be away for 3 months.
Okay.
So they juggled the whole thing, calculated this. It still came to about 8 weeks.
Okay.
So they said the highest they could give me was 4 weeks to go. So I had to break my leave days into 2 weeks in December, 2 weeks in January. But fortunately for me, there was this NUC strike that made me at home. So it's elongated it for me like 3 weeks. But all that period, the only thing I was feeling was just slight backache. And then when I'm bending down, if I don't move back, like reverse, I can't project forward. My legs won't just work. So I was just I just thought it was one of the new things, additional things that, okay, this one has joined, you've joined, okay, let me just
manage myself.
Let me just manage myself, because I couldn't like tell my husband, okay, now my leg has refused to unlock, you know, because it will be from this to this to this to this, and I just bore the pain.
So did you just decide to do a test, or?
I didn't even just decide to do a test. I was supposed to resume on a Monday in February, and then my husband took ill. So I had to bring him to Ikeja all the way from Surulere. And when we got to, because he had to have some tests, you know, fasting blood sugar and all that. So when we got to the eatery where he was supposed to eat after the fasting blood sugar, I just felt like grabbing all the food on the table and, you know.
You're like, what happened?
He was looking at me like, what's going on? What's wrong with you? I said nothing. Then I went to the food stand as well. I almost fell. They all quickly brought a seat for me. Madam, what's going on? I started feeling dizzy. I wasn't, and I'm a very strong person. So I was like, well, maybe it's just one of those drugs that I've taken, long side effect. So I came back to the seat and I was begging him for bone.
From the chicken?
From the chicken.
That's how you know pregnancy is amazing.
He said, how can you be begging for bone? This is a public place. I said, I bought this thing with my money?
Just give me that
give me the bone. So on our way back home, I was meant to drop him at home. I called my boss that I'll be coming in late.
Okay.
I'll come in like maybe 1 or 12 o'clock. Then he said, Yinka, you're not looking normal. He said, go straight to your hospital. Then my heart started beating fast.
Okay, when are we going to get this?
I said, hey, you've noticed another thing again. I was keeping the leg thing. Now you've noticed that I'm looking strange. So we got to the hospital in Surulere, and then the doctor was asking me questions. I've never been pregnant. He was asking me questions. He was pressing my stomach, asking me about my breast and everything. I said, I don't know. So the man was mad. He was like, oh no, this could be a case of a missed abortion. He was pressing the lower part of, I didn't know anything. I didn't know where the baby would stay, nothing. I didn't know anything, nothing. So he asked me to do a scan. I went to the scan center.
It wasn't even a test, it was a scan straight up.
Scan. He said he wants to know what is here. Okay. But he said, you're feeling ticklish in your breast. He said, how long ago was this? I said, sometime in December. He said, December to now, 2 months.
And you've not done anything.
And so you've not done anything, you've not done the test, you didn't come. I said, when I don't know. I told you I've never been pregnant, you didn't believe. I don't know, it's what I know that I will treat. So he asked me to go to, immediately I came out from the doctor's office. My husband just gave me this look like, it had better be good news. I was saying, okay. I now told the doctor, I said, let me take him home. My husband said he's not going home. The doctor said I can't take my husband home because the scan center is closing very soon. So I had to just rush down. And when we got there, all the things I had read became foolishness before me. I didn't understand what the baby was looking like anymore. I didn't understand what the sac was like. I didn't even understand what fallopian tube was. I just laid down on the bed there, and then he was telling me, because this is someone that I interact with.
Okay.
So he was a little bit shocked that I wasn't flowing. So he now had to start talking to me, telling me what to do.
educating.
Madam, come down from the bed.
Slowly.
Congratulations. Okay, sit down here. You know, like, because I think I was already gone.
It was more like a surreal moment. You probably didn't.
It didn't sink in until he now took me outside, said, you need to use the toilet.
Oh, because after the scandal,
After the
water and
scandal,
everything,
I just sat down and I said, no, madam, you need to use the toilet. Said the toilet is clean.
you can go.
You can sit down. Then you put and you pee. I was telling me everything.
God.
So I said, okay. So when I got into the toilet, when I had finished, and I came and said, just sit down. I'm preparing a report. You are 2 months and 8 days pregnant. So I just thought I was looking at him. And he said, congratulations. I was still looking at him. So he felt something was off. So he just opened the door down. He was looking at me, preparing the report. He came out and gave me the report. Immediately, I started laughing.
That's a good feeling.
Like it just sunk in. I laughed. All the way to when I going to meet my husband at the reception. I got out, I was laughing. He was wondering,
what is wrong with this woman?
He said, are you okay? I said, I'm okay. He said, what's the matter? What did the doctor see? Like up to 5 times.
Yes.
I was laughing seriously. And then he got the report for me. He ran out the middle of the road.
Okay.
He was crying.
Oh, wow.
Crying. Then he called my mom and broke the news to her. I didn't know he had gone to look for where they sell maternity gowns. He's been going there, window shopping with Faith. You know, he's been going to baby shops, window shopping with Faith. So that same day, he took me around.
And he shopped.
And he shopped.
And he felt good. It must have really felt good.
It really feels good.
I don't know. So I like stories like this. So what afterwards, what did you do with yourself? Because afterwards, what did you do? Did you continue to work? Did you just decide that you wanted to?
I continued working, but it was really difficult for me because, you know, it was something I had never experienced.
The level you were on before, from the workaholic to...
Yes, I had to now start, you know,
down.
slowing down because pregnancy wasn't very easy for me. At some point in the first, I think it was the second trimester, I was spotting. So I was placed on bed rest. And also because of the age, because I had advanced in age. So I was placed on bed rest at the hospital. So I had to just take it easy. But I didn't stop working until when I put to bed. So I resigned from there.
My motherhood journey is going to be a constant thing. It's a very beautiful thing to listen to, you know, how far women have come, women that have gone through, you know, TTC, and also have health issues, because I feel like sometimes people don't want to talk about these things. Maybe they don't want to relive the memories. And sometimes maybe they don't also have the permission of their partners to talk about certain things. But after your first child, was there like a gap, or was it just back to back, or was it?
There was a gap. There was like
a thought out gap, or just health wise, or you just decided to just give it a break?
No, it wasn't just working. It didn't. The baby didn't just come. My second son came at the time I wasn't expecting, because that period we just buried my dad, and there was so much stress in the air, and I just conceived.
It always happens like this. I guess your children have, you know, they have their time when they just decide to show up. When God just says, "Oh, it's time. Let's go."
You know, so but we kept trying. I started going for fertility checks and all that. So after a while, I just left myself.
Was it more when you had a boy, your first boy, and then you just thought? Was there at any point where you just thought, I beg, I have one now, I'm okay? Or you were just like, God, I know you did this one, you can do another one?
Well, at some point, yes, because you know, I had the previous surgery. You for the fibroids, and then I had the CS. So at some point when it wasn't coming, like after 2 years after I had my first, I just zeroed my mind that I'm not
going to stress about it.
I don't want any knife cut. But later I now started feeling maybe we can just try again. My husband had so much faith in that.
God bless him.
He had so much faith in it. Don't worry, you know. So sometimes when I'm discouraged, he's someone I can always turn to.
That's what partnership is about. So, I don't know. This is a very emotional one for me because I can almost, understand, the feeling, maybe because I've been close to somebody that has TTC'd as well. And I know the feeling, I know talking to people and trying to get across to it. So thank you. Thank you so much for coming and share your motherhood, story with us. I just want to ask, do you have any advice for any mom that is going through her own motherhood journey? It might not necessarily look like yours. They might have health issues, PCOS, or endo, or it's just not happening yet. Because for some people, they actually don't diagnose them with anything, and it's just not happening yet. Do you have any advice for them?
The first thing in this infertility journey is, there's always a lot of scare. There's always a lot of disbelief in oneself, especially if you've gone for a test and you've been diagnosed with something. But if you haven't been diagnosed with anything, you just relax. Just relax and eat right. Take your vegetables, take your fruits, stay off sugar.
Okay.
Very important to stay off sugar. You can do the natural sugars from fruits, but please just stay off sugar because it's a killer.
So I was actually going to ask, in your journey, because I know people tend to give a lot of advice, based on their own, what they experienced, and what works for A might not necessarily work for B. But I do know that a lot of women that I know that have PCOS tend to eat clean. Some of them even go, they go off beef. I don't know, maybe it's just what is prescribed by their doctors, but is that like a regular standard it's great to eat clean. However, when you do have health issues, do they actually prescribe that, don't eat this, don't do that?
Yes, if you have got health issues, they're going to prescribe something. They're going to put you on a diet. And what the diet does for you is that it sort of helps to repair your cells. You understand? It helps to repair your cells. So, and if in the process of the repair, other things can, fall into place. So it's important to eat clean. Drink a lot of water. Take a lot of fruits, vegetables. Just balance your food.
Okay.
And make sure your blood pressure, your blood sugar doesn't go up. Once you're good with all those, you're fine.
That's great. So now that we're inside this motherhood business, what's it like? Because you have 2 boys, and I know that's work on its own. Because like you say, boys will always be boys, generally kids. Having 2 kids, especially active children that are doing so much. What's that like for you?
Oh, it's a lot of work. And I have had to always look for, towards each holiday, I always have to think of how to engage them. Maybe cooking, baking, we do craft work, because I do a lot of craft work.
Yeah.
I make them do craft work. And then sometimes I make them clean, make them fold clothes, just...
See now, you're bringing up the men that we want for our girls. No, girls that's going to be doing this thing. Can you be here? Make them wash clothes, make them wash plates, so that we can have peace. All of us will be doing this partnership thing together. The girl wash small plates, you two wash small plates. The girl fold clothes, you two iron the clothes. That's great. Thank you so much. I must say, I really enjoyed your motherhood journey. Thank you for sharing it with us. And based off everything that you said to me, I'm going to ask you one personal question, which is a bit of a weird one. If you were to write your autobiography, like, or this is Mom Yore's autobiography, what would you call it?
The not so smooth journey.
The not so smooth journey.
Yes. The not so smooth journey.
Not so smooth journey. Okay, sounds about it, but yeah, now we're already in the smooth of it now.
Yes.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, another last question. This is the final question. This is not another last question. This is the final question. What do you do to unwind? We talked about your journey. We talked about you as an entrepreneur, and then you have 2 boys. What do you do for yourself? What is this thing that you really like to do that it's just for me? And when I'm doing it, it's just every other person is invisible.
I love my work.
A lot of your work. Oh my God. You told me that you were no longer a workaholic. Now you are still in the thick of it, because how can you be using your work to unwind?
I love my work. I love my pattern design building.
The creative side of it, right?
Yes.
Oh.
I love my work.
So you even do it for fun. You do it to relax.
I do it to relax. I just go very slow.
Okay.
When I finish is when I finish. No rushing.
Okay, that's great. Okay, now that you've talked about your work, your creative side, plug your business. Let us come and buy into your creativity now. Plug your business. Tell us what you do, where we can find you. If you have an Instagram page, just plug it right in.
Okay. I design ashoke. I love designs the more. I make ashoke bulk, engagement, weddings, any kind of occasion. I do a bit of catering on the side. I do a bit of decoration on the side. That's the gift wrapping aspect for engagement. And I love being a mom.
What's the name of your business on Instagram? Where can they find
It's Supreme Ashoke and more.
Supreme Ashoke and more. Is it just Supreme Ashoke? Is there any underscore?
No underscore. Supreme Ashoke and more everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Okay. And there you've heard it all from our guest, her motherhood journey, and then I learned a lot. I don't know if you did, but I'm very sure you did. It was very nice, very insightful, and very, very emotional. And we're going to be having more moms that are going to be coming to talk about their motherhood journey, how they got here, and every other thing in between. Do well to subscribe to our channels, like, share, and you can follow us on all our social media platforms right underneath there. And then thank you for staying with us till I come your way next time. It's me, Tolu, the Millennial Mom. Continue to live in light. Bye.